everyone, and thank you for joining. My name is Catherine Dean, and I'm one of the panelists for today's webinar, which will be focused around Better Together, Dynamics 365 Finance and Sales. To provide some of the context around today's webinar, I'll be walking through a short PowerPoint outlining the integration between Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management, which is formerly Finance and Operations, and Sales, which is formerly CRM, and then handing it off to Tom Hart for a Dynamics 365 sales demonstration. We will then have Hope Enix walk through a demonstration of finance and supply chain management. The information we're going through today will give you some insight on how to use these two products together, can be helpful to manage your business revenue generating processes. As we are walking through the slides or demonstration, please do not hesitate to send over questions into the chat and we will get them answered. Dual-Ray is the name for the Microsoft integration technology that works between Dynamics 365 Sales and the Finance and Operation applications. As you can see, the integration works between the two systems for the various entities that exist in both of them. You can do as much or as little as you want by turning the out-of-the-box maps on and off, and also adding filters to manage what data flows between the systems. There are many benefits to integrating your front and back office systems. As I mentioned in the last slide, Dual-Write is an out-of-the-box option to integrate the two systems, so you don't need to create a custom integration, which takes time and is expensive. Since they are integrated, you get the benefits of a single source of truth, and at the same time, the data stays in sync across the two business apps. This reduces or eliminates time delay, errors due to rekeying, and increases overall efficiency and effectiveness of the sales to fulfillment process. Integration with the ERP gives sales and marketing teams a full perspective of customer interactions and histories, allowing them to better understand customers' needs, preferences, and habits. This aids in the development of better relationships, the delivery of personalized experiences, and the promotion of customer loyalty. Experts say that incorrectly handled customer information increases the risk of dissatisfaction and lost customer trust in business. Thus, you must unify the sales and fulfillment functions to build profitable customer relationships. I will now hand it over to Tom to present a demonstration of Microsoft Dynamics 365 Sales. As a reminder, please do not hesitate to send over your questions through the chat during the presentations.
Great, thank you, Kathy. Let me go ahead and just share my screen here. All right. Can everyone see the D365 sales slide now?
Yes.
Perfect. So in this part of the demo, I'm going to walk through 5 main kind of feature areas within Dynamics 365 Sales, all important parts of this kind of better together vision that Kathy was describing. So first, we're going to look at some of the Sales Copilot features and some of the AI functionality that Microsoft has been incorporating into Teams, Outlook, and Dynamics, and the connecting thread that Copilot can be between these applications. Then we're going to jump into Dynamics a little deeper and look at pipeline analytics and how you can do both proactive and retroactive sales pipeline analytics. Then we're going to talk through some of the functionality with leads and how qualifying leads is a critical part of most businesses and how Dynamics enables that workflow, and contacts and how we can create and manage a variety of types of contacts from both mobile and desktop locations. And then finally, look through opportunity management, the business process flow, which can help standardize our stages and steps of different types of processes within the sales function, as well as being able to chat in context in Teams. And then stay tuned, you'll see the opportunity created within my part of the demo show up on Hope's side within finance and supply chain management as well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my demo environment. And Katie, if you don't mind just confirming again that we made the jump over to Teams here.
Yes.
Perfect. So the first place and one of the most helpful places where Sales Copilot is showing up right now is within Teams. I'm currently demonstrating Teams within a web environment, so just using Edge for my browser, but you would have a very similar experience if you were accessing Teams from your desktop or even from mobile as well. So what you're seeing here is I have a chat open that is a recap of a meeting that I had attended through Teams. So we can see Sales Copilot providing a recap, including some highlights and follow-ups in the center of the screen here. On the right side, we have our transcript, where Copilot has taken the audio from the meeting, transcribed it so that I can easily scroll through and read the different pieces that were shared during this meeting, and I can search through the transcript as well. A nice part about this Sales Copilot feature is the ability to tie together what I'm looking at here in the transcript and what's in the timeline down below. So if I want to know where this question was asked, I can click on the question itself, and you can see in the timeline we're jumping to that particular timestamp. That functionality also works for other parts of the recap. So if I'm looking for a particular keyword, such as payment terms, I can click on that keyword or my name and see a little diamond appear where my name was mentioned in the timeline, as well as in the transcript. This feature can be really helpful for improving quality of communication, as well as memory within the team. So making it possible both for busy sales folks who are moving between different contexts to improve how they are communicating with different contexts, as well as information handoff. So if a sales executive needs to bring in a different subject matter expert, such as engineering, then it's easier to share that full context with the folks that might not have been able to join that call. So this is where Copilot is currently showing up within Teams. And now if we jump into Outlook, still using a browser, kind of same preface as before, you're going to have a similar experience using Copilot for Sales in the browser or in the desktop app. But here we see Copilot open in my right sidebar. And I'm just looking at an email thread here with a couple back and forth emails between myself and two different demo accounts. So in the sidebar, Copilot again is providing a summarization of this communication. You'll notice that as a common theme if you haven't encountered Copilot much within the Microsoft ecosystem so far. You can kind of notice that theme of summarization as one of the key benefits, helping us understand what we're looking at more quickly due to Copilot's ability to take 3 emails here and summarize it down into 3 bullets. Now, some people have concerns or questions about the accuracy of different kind of AI generated text. And so one way that Copilot helps address that is by having these citations here within the summary itself. So I can click on the little footnote and see where Copilot is drawing this particular summary from. And there's a couple different citations in this particular email summary. Then if I'm finding this email summary useful, and maybe again, I want to hand it off to another member of my team, bring in engineering for some additional perspective, then I could draft an email or reply directly to this thread. So let's go ahead and select reply to an inquiry. And we're seeing Copilot look at the email context here, as well as data that we have within Dynamics 365 Sales. So we know that Tom Hart is associated to Cave Wholesales within the CRM. And then their Copilot is also suggesting some meeting time slots based on my calendar availability. So looking ahead to Wednesday the 20th and proposing a couple times in the morning and accurately noting that I am in Central Time. So if that looks good to me, I can just copy and pull it in. You'll see, some disclaimers here, and this is always important to be aware, especially in the relative early days with AI generated content, is to always proofread and check before actually sending it out. And if you want to, you can adjust the meeting times. You can even adjust the language that it's drafting in. So if you have contacts in other countries or that speak other languages, and we can also request a different tone and add some additional details here. So it can be a bit of a learning curve, and we recommend folks experiment with Copilot and start adopting Copilot into the workflow, both for summarization as well as text generation purposes. Some other nice features that Copilot is providing in the right sidebar here goes to that connecting thread idea that I mentioned earlier. So we have Copilot surfacing records from Dynamics 365 here in the right sidebar of my Outlook email inbox. So we can see Tom Hart has been saved as a contact within D365, and I can click on the name and see some fields from that contact within CRM, as well as some opportunities and related items that this contact is associated with. So again, making it easier to quickly move between relevant information without needing to jump into each application and manually pulling it up or searching for it. We can also click on this opportunity that Tom is connected to, and now Copilot is actually summarizing the fields from within CRM. So not just the email or Teams call, but the actual data from CRM on this opportunity. And again, I have the opportunity to copy it or provide feedback if there is feedback that I want to kind of help train Copilot and improve the accuracy of the summary. One other highlight here is the ability to jump straight to the record from the right sidebar of Outlook. So I can click on this opportunity and then open it within Dynamics. And this is going to help us see the third and final place in this demo where Copilot is currently showing up in sales. So here in the right sidebar, again, you may be noticing a theme here. Copilot pops open, and there's a couple different suggested prompts that I can ask Copilot, but I'm going to just start with summarize this opportunity. Similar to what we saw in the sidebar in Outlook, Copilot is looking through some of the fields on this record and is providing that information back in a bulleted form right here in the side, making it easy for me to copy the information, or I can click copy to email, and it will even fill in the subject as well as those bullets and links to the related records for my email message. If I go ahead and go back to this record, there are some additional things that we can ask Copilot. So I can see if anything has changed since I last logged in, and Copilot is helping me confirm that I'm up to date on this opportunity record. Now there's a prompt guide here as well. So I can see my pipeline, and Copilot can pull up the opportunities that I have in my pipeline. And then we can also click summarize on these opportunities. So it is a shift in many people's use of CRM, relying more on this chat interface. And it will really depend on the kind of preferences of your team on how and where this gets adopted. But speaking from personal use and our use internally at Boyer, we're definitely seeing some positive traction with the ability to navigate through a lot of information in CRM using Copilot as an assistant, an intelligent co-pilot as we move between Teams, Outlook, and Dynamics. So as you may have kind of guessed, Copilot has a lot of different features and functionality, but for the sake of today's demo, that is our kind of quick review of Sales Copilot. We have an additional recording out on our YouTube channel, and you're welcome to contact us and we can share more information about Copilot there as well. But to summarize, Copilot is helping us to improve the speed and quality of sales work through the ability to summarize as well as generate text. Now let's go ahead and keep moving into some of the more classic parts of the CRM, and starting with pipeline analytics. So if I switch into my opportunities tab here, and again, just accessing Dynamics 365 using a browser, I'm going to go ahead and close my left menu just to keep my screen a little more organized. And along the top here, we're looking at my deal tracker for opportunities. So you can see both color coding as well as size, showing the probability for that particular deal or opportunity. If I hover over these circles, I can see a card showing up with additional information, and I can select the circle itself and have the actual record for that opportunity pop open in the right sidebar here. This can be a convenient way to get quick analytics or quick perspective on the opportunities that I currently have within CRM. And you can see in this current view, I am looking proactively into the future. So the kind of months ahead in weeks and months ahead here in 2024. If I want to switch my view, I can go to the little drop down, and maybe I want to look at all opportunities for our team as a whole. Now I'm seeing both the past and the future, and opportunities that are not just mine, but other members of our team. So these drop-down views are a very convenient way to move between data within CRM, and it's easy to update these views as well, as I will show a little further on in our demo. In addition to this deal tracker kind of bubble view, we also have the more traditional sales funnel showing the estimated revenue by stage, and currently our defined stages are qualified, develop, and propose. And as with other parts of the system, it is interactive. So if I click on develop, then I'm going to see just the records filtered down here in my table below that are in the develop stage. If we don't want this combo view along the top, we can switch just to list and then move between our views that way as well. Now, if we want to, instead of looking mainly proactively, and we're doing some retroactive analysis on maybe closed opportunities, then I can switch to my closed opportunities here. And it looks like I don't currently have kind of closed opportunities in this part of my demo environment. So a sign that I should keep working on my open opportunities and get some of those closed. But as you can imagine, closed opportunities view is a good way to look at revenue to date that has been closed. And there are ways to do kind of analysis in that view to see if there's any patterns in how we've been closing opportunities, such as the industry or the customer or when those opportunities closed. And based on those insights, we can make more data-informed decisions. One other highlight in this part of pipeline analytics is the ability to do some more ad hoc reporting. So if I select visualize this view from our command bar, I'm going to have a Power BI report generated on the fly here, and then I can interact with the data in a more dynamic manner. So you can see it loads pretty quickly. And if I'm seeing maybe sum of probability by rating, the system is trying to make an informed representation here, but that's not really the data that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna just shift in the right sidebar and do sum of estimated revenue by rating. And that provides me a little more useful visualization here. Now, with this ad hoc report, I'm also getting some kind of AI generated interpretation showing how the sum of estimated revenue jumped from 0 to 12,000. And it's providing some quick interpretation of the visual. If I want to continue working with this report, I can save it to Power BI and share or continue working with the data that way. Or I can view just the data table, as we saw on the previous screen, of where these visuals are coming from. So several examples here of how we can have analytics on our pipeline. And one last quick example of analytics within Dynamics 365 are the dashboards. So here in the left menu, you can see I have a dedicated item for dashboards. And as we saw on the opportunities view, I have a drop-down where I can select different dashboards as well. So this is another out-of-the-box feature where we have visualizations and charts to help me understand the data that I have within Dynamics 365 Sales. So I have my open opportunities here, and I can select through to view the records behind this chart and navigate back to my dashboard. I also have an assistant here in this particular dashboard that's giving me a reminder that I have an opportunity closing soon and an opportunity whose close date has passed. These reminders, there are many that come out of the box, and these can be configured as well. So if your team has particular pain points or opportunities that you really want to stay on top of, the assistant and these notifications can be one way to encourage that quality and ongoing behavior. So for the sake of today's demo, that was our quick look through pipeline analytics and how we can do proactive, retroactive, and use out-of-the-box dashboards to increase data-informed decisions. Now let's go ahead and jump into the leads area and see how we can reduce time spent on unqualified leads. So if I use our left menu and move from dashboards to leads, and I'm going to go ahead and use my selector and just look at all leads for my team. So again, using this kind of drop down to change the selection of data within the system that I'm looking at. And I'm going to go into a particular lead. And so now I'm seeing the detail view for John Deere, this lead. You'll notice a couple things within the detail record. We've got typical text fields and drop downs where we can select other records from within the system and search for, if I clear out the existing one and hit enter, then we can see other records, making sure that I'm selecting existing information and not creating unnecessary duplicates. There are additional kind of duplicate detection rules that we could go into in more detail in a future conversation. There's some other nice functionality related to the lead record in Dynamics 365 Sales, including this business process flow or pizza tracker along the top. And we will actually come back to this more in the opportunity section as well, but just highlighting that it shows up here on the lead record and can be helpful in a qualification process. So on the summary tab here, we're tracking some of the name and contact information for this lead. We can also track what account they're associated with, address. We can include a map if that's helpful for getting directions and actually going to visit that lead. And then down the center here, we have the timeline where we can track different activities with that lead. And I'll go into a little more detail on the timeline control when we're looking at contacts. If there are other records that we want to keep in mind associated to this lead, we can do that by adding a new connection here for stakeholders or competitors. Again, utilizing this relational data model where an entry or a record exists once in the system, and we can create one-to-many or many-to-many relationships between these different records so that we have a clear understanding of how our different records relate to one another. In addition to this summary tab at the top here, we can have up next, which is a control that makes it easy to surface the task in the timeline that's coming up next, or we can attach a sequence here as well, which is a predefined set of steps that we can use in qualification. Similar to the business process flow along the top, but the sequence can have more prompts, including do research on LinkedIn, and it will we can include a link to the LinkedIn profile of folks on LinkedIn that have the name John Deere. In addition to the summary tab, we can have other tabs within the lead for tracking additional details, uploading files for this lead. You can see in my demo environment it's not set up, but this is a great way to utilize SharePoint and Dynamics together so that we're easily keeping track of spreadsheets or PDFs that may be relevant to this lead. Then jumping real quick back out to our list view here, we can easily create leads in bulk. So we can import from Excel or export to Excel. Again, great integration here between the productivity suite of Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365 as our CRM. So for leads, we typically recommend managing those through CRM, and oftentimes there can be a distinction as well between marketing qualified leads before we hand off to sales and before sales works through from lead to order, and we pass off more to the ERP side of the house. So with that, we saw some of the features within D365 that help us reduce time spent on unqualified leads. And now let's go ahead and take a quick look at contacts and how we can do right place, right time data capture. So similar to leads, a contact is a person-specific record, but rather than being a prospect or a lead, contacts can be many different types of people. So we can see I have my active contacts here. I can also keep track of inactive contacts, so I don't have to delete and recreate a record if, say, someone becomes inactive for a period of time. And in this list view, I can also easily create a new contact. So I can select new and then fill out the form to quickly enter their information. Now, if I'm on the go, there's also a mobile app that comes with Dynamics 365 with almost no configuration effort, so your team can easily access your CRM data wherever they are. And there's a nice AI tool, so you can pull information from business cards. Just take a quick photo of a business card and it will auto-populate the contact fields. So making it easy to capture that contact information wherever you are. Like we saw on the lead record, the timeline control is a common item throughout many parts of Dynamics 365, and it's a great way to have shared visibility as a team of what activity have we had with this individual. So we can see some emails and appointments back and forth here. They're nicely summarized, and if we want to, we can expand and view more detail from these records as well. There's several additional features for searching, bookmarking, and filtering through these activities. As you can imagine, if we have multiple people interacting here, we can end up with many activities in this timeline. And the timeline is also very helpful for creating future tasks. So if I'm working with Alex, maybe we wrapped up a call together, and I'm going to quickly create a task to follow up. And I'm going to give it some quick description from our call together, give it a due date for next week. And maybe rather than myself, I want to look for another member of the team. And I'm actually going to have ask Kathy to follow up on this one. So I save the task, and then wherever Kathy is kind of viewing her activities next, she will see that in that view, as well as on the contact record itself. So a number of helpful features similar to what we saw with leads for tracking information related to contacts and creating them in a few different places, including a mobile app. Lastly, let's quickly create an opportunity before we hand off to Hope for the rest of the demo here. So back within Dynamics 365, switching from contacts to opportunities in my left menu. And like we saw during our pipeline analytics view, I have this kind of nice list where I can select from different opportunities. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the top, click Create New Opportunity, and I'm going to create we have an opportunity for high-end speakers, and I'm going to select enter quick budget amount here. There's some nice speakers for an auditorium. We are looking at this quarter for the purchase time frame, and we have a committee decision being made. I auto-populated on Contoso, but I'm actually going to go ahead and update that to be our USMF account. And then we're going to also fill in our estimated close date in the header of the record here. So this one's closing in early April. I can look up the account as we saw before. We're going to have another interaction with Cave Wholesale here and put in that same estimated revenue matching their budget amount. So with that, we should be able to save our new opportunity. And in a few moments here, when Hope takes over, you'll see how Dual Right has taken this data, this opportunity record, from sales and is showing it now in finance and supply chain management as well. To close the loop on the business process flow foreshadowing from earlier, we again have this pizza tracker along the top. So these are defined stages, and we can have steps underneath these stages to help our team standardize and improve how we're working together on opportunities. So we can confirm, an identified contact prior to moving on to the develop stage. These stages also help provide some analytics, so we can look back retrospectively and see in the audit history of this record, how much time did we spend in these different business process flow stages. This is also a no-code part of the application. So if your team has very particular stages or you follow a particular sales methodology, you can easily update your business process flow to match that process. And then last highlight for me within Dynamics 365 Sales is the ability to chat in context. And this is really one of the integrations that I use most frequently working with our teams. So we can create a new Teams chat here, and I can search, again, maybe Kathy and I are working together on this one. And I'm gonna say, check out this new op. And wherever Kathy is using Teams, she's going to see this opportunity record show up. So we can talk back and forth if she's on mobile or desktop or web, and I'm keeping this connection to the record itself so it's easy for her to jump in and see the information that has been captured so far. If we're continuing to work on this opportunity and Hope has a question from what she's seeing on the ERP side, we can easily add in her to our chat as well and share the history of what we've been discussing. And so with that, these features on opportunities help us to improve collaboration as a team. So thank you for your attention. And now I'm going to hand off to Hope to continue with the finance and supply chain management portion of the demo.
Thank you, Tom. And I want to show. Okay, thank you, Tom. Good job and really cool stuff. And thank you for the time and opportunity to show you D365 Finance and Supply Chain Management. This is what it looks like when you come in. I'm going to show you around a little bit before we go and look at that opportunity that Tom sent over to the ERP. So what we see here in the middle is we have a dashboard of dashboards, if you will. Dynamics 365 Finance comes with workspaces, and workspaces are tied they really allow you to work in them, and they are smaller process related. So I'm going to take you into this customer credit and collections just because it shows you the power of the system. Dynamics 365 Finance is a very powerful ERP solution that is flexible and can be tailored to meet your needs and can grow with you. It's multi-company, multi-currency, and as we see, if we come into this screen, we see the manage customer credit collection, so a very specific process. We see that we're looking at a specific company, but if we had multiple companies, we could move back and forth between those and work with that. We can see while we're in USMF, we can see that we have a number of summaries down here. We see open activities related to credit and collections as well as cases. We see how many customers we have over the limit, how many sales orders are on hold. We also see our aged balances here, and we can pick and choose which aging definition we would like to see this information in. And say while we're reviewing this information, we get a phone call from Cave Wholesales. And so we can type in Cave up here. It does say customer account. So if you know the customer account, you can type that in, or if you know part of the name, you can type in that as well. And it will, now we've chosen the customer account, the balances that we see down at the bottom, the aged balances, are related specifically to this account, as are the summary tiles that we saw before. So if this customer called, we can see, there's a payment journal not posted to this account. So we might want to know that when we're talking to them, because that means that we've received a payment that hasn't been posted yet to their account. So we can drill down into these action panes, which takes us right into a D365 screen. And I want to show you one of the things I want to point out during this demonstration is just how much working in D365 Finance is like working in Excel. And we have an action pane across the top, and this is our payment journal. If we wanted to look at the lines of this payment journal, we see that it's going to take us in, and it's already narrowed down the lines of this payment journal to be what the customer's account is, because we told it before we came into here what customer account we were working with. Excuse me. So we can see my apologies. So we can see that we've received a customer from received a payment from customer wholesales right here. So we won't not know that. These workspaces allow you to increase communications across the system. Excuse me. I am so sorry. You would know I would start coughing when I get on. As we move down through the workspaces, we see that we not only have action panes that tell us what we need to know, but also um, uh, uh, analytics. We can add Power BI into these workspaces as well, and we can also look at things that like we can look at lists of information. So right now, keep in mind, I have it narrowed down to Cave Wholesale, and I can see that they're overdue. If I wanted to, right from here, I could email them as a statement. I could also record new activities, like I needed to create an appointment or schedule it for someone else to follow up with them in the future. I could also see straight from here any notes. Any notes related to this particular account. Now remove the customer account, and you'll see that these lists automatically update to show me all customers that are overdue. And I can also see things like customers who are on hold, review any activities related to customers and so forth. So these workspaces allow you to actually get to work right away. The action panes tell you things that like sales orders that you need to follow up that are on hold, work that you need to do and take care of right away. Also gives you information at your fingertips should you be a customer call and should you need to be talking to them. So Microsoft works really hard to put the information that you need at your fingertips. Just taking a look at a couple of other workspaces throughout the system. And just so you know, more than 80 of these come out of the box, and you can create your own, and you can even customize the ones that come out of the box. We have some supply risk assessments, and it gives you an overview of supply chain information. Also would give you analytics related to performance and on time and full information, products that are on time and full, vendor rankings, things of that nature. Also, we'll look at any risks that you have. The system offers full master planning capabilities, and you see that you can analyze purchase versus planned orders, sourcing risk analyzation, and planned purchase risk. So just some of the helpful information to help you do your job comes right out of the box. Also, there's financial analysis that comes out of the box, and this is for all companies. One of the things I want you to know about Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations is that security is role-based, and whatever you can see can be controlled by security. I'm signed on as a system administrator so that you can see that everything is available, but that's not how it would be in the real world. Users would only be able to see the things that they were given the security rights to see. You'll see here I come straight into a financial overview. You see it's related to the organization I'm in, but should I want to see all organizations, and as long as I have security rights to do that, you see it changes immediately and gives me financial information about all of the companies. Now I can pick and choose which I want to do, but I just wanted you to see how interactive the analytics within Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations is. So let's head over now to the opportunity that Tom put in for us. And the way that we're going to do this, there's multiple ways to move about through the system. We could move about through the modules, and this shows you some of all of the modules that are available through the system. Modules, when you open them up, will show you all of the menu options, and you see we're looking at sales and marketing now, and we have all opportunities here. You will also notice that it's got a star beside it. That means I've marked it as a favorite. So system keeps track of favorites and also recent, so you can move back and forth very easily. So let's go ahead and dive into these opportunities. And this takes us into really what we call a grid screen. And it's the screen that you're going to work most often in. Customers show up in a screen like this, all vendors, all purchase orders, all sales orders, all opportunities. The screens are set up in columns and rows, just like Excel, and you also have an action pane across the top, and so different tabs that allow you to do different tasks. In this system and in all products that they create, Microsoft does the best that they can do to put all the information that you need at your fingertips. So another thing about these grid screens is you can insert columns. You can hide columns if you don't need them. You can put them in different formats, and then you can save views, and you can have multiple views, and you can pin one to be your standard view. These views can be shared throughout the company, and default views can also be attached to security roles. So one of the things that's really cool about these grid screens too is you can show footers, for example. And if we scroll across in the opportunity screen, we see that we have an estimated revenue column. And should we want to total this, we could do that. You see we have the plus at the bottom once I added the footer, and we could say that we wanted a sum of that. And so we can see our estimated revenue in all of the opportunities. Now I'm looking at all opportunities. You can see that we have different owners here. If I'm right click up at the owner, you see that I have an option to do a group by this column. So if I do that, now the system is going to group by owners, and we'll see that some owners don't have, some opportunities don't have owners. And here's the one that Tom just did for us right here. We'll come back to that one in a minute, but it doesn't have an owner yet because it just came in. We do see too that we can, if I scroll to the right, we also have our estimated revenue now by owner, and that is how that's what we ask it to do when we did the group by. So again, just works with Excel. Another way that it interfaces, if we see the button up here, open in Microsoft Office, you see that we have two options. Open in Excel actually would allow us to open opportunities in Excel and make changes to that, and then post it back, and export would actually do a data dump, if you will. But it's very, the D365 Finance is very interrelated with Excel. So let's dive into, well, let's first look at the opportunity and claim it, the opportunity that Tom just sent over. We can see that the high-end information came over. Notice that when I went into it immediately, it takes me to the bottom tab and shows me Dynamics 365 CRM fast tab here that shows me all of the information. We can see that Tom is the owner, the estimated revenue, and so forth. And so we can see this information. Also, we'll see that I'm just going to go back and let's look at one that belongs to me. I'm actually Sarah Grace in the system, and I can, if I want to, I could filter up here, and I'll filter by Grace. Here, Grace Nelson. These are my two opportunities that I want to take a look at. You know, when the opportunity comes over into the system, it may be that you choose to handle the quotes inside D365 Finance. The benefits of doing this would be that it can actually quotes based on the probability of the opportunity can interface with master planning. So it would allow you to plan ahead. So for example, if you considered all quotations that were marked as with a 75% probability of closing or higher, you see we can track the probability in here, but say it's 75% or higher, we can tell the system to include the quotations into the master planning so that you can do what if scenarios, and you can pick and choose at what stage you want the opportunities to be enclosed in. So opportunities have quite a bit of information here, and they are, as you saw down here at the bottom, they are interfaced with the CRM, so you can see that right here. We can see notes here as well. Also, the system going to go back to all of our opportunities screen, and once I click on this opportunity here, notice that up here there is an attachment. We see the number 2 light up. This will show us any attachments that are to this or attached to this opportunity, and so we would be able to. I'm sorry, I must have clicked on the wrong thing. And so any attachments will show up here, and you'll be able to see them. You'll see the numbers of those that come up. And you'll also see any related to quotations. You can create sales quotations from here or project quotations. And if you go under general here, we could actually see any related information or any project quotations that are attached. And on this one, we see that a project quotation is attached. You can actually have multiple quotations. You can do alternative quotations, and the system will keep track if you close one. I mean, if you win one or lose one, that it would close the other ones as well. So we see here that we have a quotation attached. We can drill down to our quotation. We can see the lines that shows us the hours and the items and if any expenses that are a part of this quotation. And we can, the system actually also keeps track of the quotations and the different versions that are sent. So if changes are made, you'll be able to see that as well. I am so sorry. Go over to this one, the project quotation. This project quotation we see is in a status of sent, so that means it's actually been sent to the customer. It actually went through an approval. So we also have our lines of how many hours, expenses, and items are related to it. And if we look, there's some workflow history here. So we can see that when the project was started, when it was completed, and who approved it. So full workflow comes with Dynamics 365 Finance. Once we get to the point where the quotation has been approved and sent to the customer, then you can actually, the system will actually allow you to confirm if you won this quotation, and you can turn it, the project quotation into an actual project. Let's just go through that and show you how easy it is. So we're going to go through the confirmation. It's asking us for a reason. Why did we win this? And so the system keeps track of, and these are user definable, and the system will keep track of what you're winning and losing and why. So you have that history to look at. And so we've confirmed it. We've told it why that we want to do it. Now we're ready to transfer it to project. Now, I don't know if you saw there, but there was also an option to create a customer. So you are able in the system to do quotations for prospects and not actually have them be created as a customer until until you actually win the deal, and you can create them and change the prospect into a customer at that time, and then go from quotation to project. So I've asked this project quotation to be turned into a project, and it's taking me through a wizard that's going to take me step by step. Now, if this was a new project, I can choose new project, or if it's a change order to an existing project, I could choose the existing project, and then it would allow, would ask me to choose the specific project. but this is a new one. I do want it to transfer the work breakdown structure into the project. So that's the task. I can tell it here, is it a time and material type project or is it a fixed price project? I can give it a name if I want to. And the project group. And the contract, this is what controls the financing part of the project. We can create a new contract for this project and hit next. Then it says, do you want, this is the information from the quote, do we want to transfer this to the project forecast? And so we say yes, and so that's bringing the quote information into the project, giving us a starting point to be able to compare actuals to what was forecasted to monitor our projects. So we hit finish to complete. And we are going to say that we want our financial dimensions from the quote header to go to our quote lines. That's so that we can get our financials, start our project off right, so it will have the right financial dimensions in it that will default into the transactions. Sales orders are very similar to sales projects, except project quotations, except that they transfer into sales orders. But we see now that this project quotation was confirmed, and if we go back to this opportunity, it will have updated and let us know that we won this opportunity. So this shows you the interaction between Dynamics sales, how the opportunity came in, and how we were able to take it from the CRM and create quotations, and then turn those quotations into actual sales orders and projects or projects, whichever's relevant. So I'm going to hand this back over to Kathy for any questions from the audience. I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you, Hope. And thank you, Tom. Great job. Wrapping up today's webinar, we had a high-level demonstration from Tom and Hope around the benefit of integrating the sales and fulfillment process with D365. As you all know, when selecting the right solutions to run your business, there's a variety of factors to consider, including your organization's requirements, budget, and resources. Not only is it important to ensure you're taking these into consideration, but also the decision of selecting the right partner. Boyer's been implementing and maintaining long-term relationships with over 450 customers since 1994. Our team's focus has always been around the Dynamics products with Microsoft, and it's our employees that helped us become one of the Microsoft Top Partners of the Year for 2023. So check it in the chat. We've got a few questions, a couple questions that we usually get asked, and one is, does the Sales Copilot come within the CRM? And that answer is yes, if you get the Sales Enterprise version of the licenses, and it is an additional fee if you get the sales
Professional. Yep, exactly.
Professional license. Sorry, thank you, Tom. The other question that we get is dual rate included, and it is not an additional fee or an additional module. So the dual rate is included with the maps that come out of the box. Any other questions? Don't see anything else. All right, so thank you so much for joining our webinar today, and I hope you're able to get a better understanding of how utilizing Microsoft Dynamics 365 sales and finance with supply chain management together can add value to your business. If you'd like to learn more, please feel free to contact us.